Welcome to video 1 of the How to Sit Your Ass Down and Do the Work journal. I just wanted to pop on and tell you a little bit about why I created this journal. I did so to solve a problem for myself, and that was, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, that I do and have always had a lot of ideas and inspiration and things I wanted to do, but for whatever reason, when it came down to sitting my butt down and actually following through and doing the work, I could never seem to do that. And so I wanted to figure out why that was and solve the problem so I could actually do the work. I imagine that I'm not alone, that this is a very common problem that a lot of creatives have. And when I say creative, I mean everybody, because everybody's creative. Is just, as Brene Brown says, we either use our creativity or we don't, but we're all creative. So when I say that, I'm talking about you and me and everyone. So I wanted to explore why it was that this was so difficult, this idea of like sitting down, following through, doing work, whatever work it was, a course, a book I wanted to write, a song I wanted to write, anything. It could be anything, but for whatever reason, when it came to actually following through, that was the hardest part. And what I discovered was the reason it was so hard is because, when you sit down to do intuitive, creative work, what actually happens is you have to be able to tolerate your own company, right? In a way, it's sort of like a meditation. It's a being present with yourself. It's a connection to self. And here in the West, we really, unfortunately, thrive off of distraction and multitasking and doing several different things at once. And that makes it really hard for us to focus long enough to produce anything of value. And so some of you know that I have a background as a therapist. For those of you who don't, I do. I'm a licensed marriage family therapist, trauma therapist in my other practice. I'm also a coach, creativity coach, and that's what I'm doing here. Authenticity coach, right? Helping people develop their voice and become their authentic selves. And so that's why I created this journal. And so if you're here because you have a hard time following through, then you came to the right place. And I really am excited to help you work through the process of sitting with yourself and being connected to self and being present, right? Rather than doing what most people do and getting busy and being distracted and not really living life. There's that first step that we have to take, which is the ability to be present with ourselves. And this is, I'm bringing into this my experience as a trauma therapist. It's very hard to connect to yourself. It's not easy. And the world that we live in, because we're always wanting to disconnect by being busy, that's sort of how our brain is developing. It's going in that direction. And if we want to do quality work, we're going to have to slow down. We're going to have to be with ourselves in order for us to open up the wisdom that comes when our emotions are expressed. So I'm so excited that you're here.